Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an exciting story about Huyen, Day, and their little daughter, Maya. Their peaceful, happy life suddenly faces a huge challenge when a dangerous figure from their past, Thomat, unexpectedly returns and tries to harm their family. Thanks to Day's bravery and quick thinking, he gathers evidence and reports Thomat to the police. In the end, justice is served, Thomat is caught, and the family can finally enjoy peace and happiness again. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next exciting episodes. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring more amazing stories to you every week. The morning sun spilled gently over the small, cozy house where Huyen, Day, and their little daughter Maya lived. The air was filled with the fresh scent of flowers from the garden and the soft sounds of birds chirping in the trees. Huyen rose early as usual, moving quietly so as not to wake Maya. She hummed softly while preparing breakfast, the aroma of freshly brewed tea and warm bread filling the kitchen. The gentle clatter of plates and the soft hiss of the pan were like music in the morning, a signal that another peaceful day had begun. Day was already outside, tending to their vegetable garden and feeding the chickens in the small pen behind the house. The sun touched his face warmly, and he smiled as Maya ran toward him, laughing. She had just woken up, her tiny feet padding across the dewy grass. Her laughter echoed through the garden as she chased a butterfly, oblivious to the worries of the world. Day called out to her, his voice gentle but playful, and Maya ran into his arms, her little hands wrapping around his neck. The bond between father and daughter was obvious in every gesture, every shared smile. Huyen came out with breakfast in her hands, and the three of them sat together on the small wooden bench by the garden. They ate slowly, savoring each bite, talking about the simple joys of life. Maya chattered about the dreams she had the night before, while Day shared small stories from his childhood. Huyen listened, smiling warmly, feeling a quiet satisfaction that she had never known before. It was these little moments, laughter, shared stories, and tender touches that made life feel whole. After breakfast, Huyen helped Maya with her little chores, while Day continued to care for the garden. Together, they nurtured the plants, watching each leaf and flower grow with tender care. There was a sense of calm in the air, a feeling that no harm could touch them here. Even the wind seemed to move more gently around their house, and the sunlight seemed to linger just a little longer. It was a perfect rhythm, a simple life that felt timeless. As the day stretched on, the family found joy in the quietest things. Huyen washed dishes, humming softly, while Day repaired the fence that kept the chickens safe. Maya played nearby, making small bouquets of wildflowers and giving them to her mother and father with a proud smile. Every laugh, every touch, every moment of connection strengthened the invisible thread that bound them together. In those days, Huyen and Day often looked at each other and smiled, knowing that their love had grown even stronger through every challenge they had faced together. They held Maya close, grateful for the miracle of having her in their lives. It seemed as if these peaceful days could stretch forever, a perfect bubble of happiness that would never burst. In their hearts, they knew that whatever life might bring, as long as they had each other, they were truly blessed. For weeks, Huyen, Day, and little Maya had been enjoying a rare period of serenity. Every morning brought laughter and light. Every evening was filled with the quiet comfort of being together. But that fragile peace was about to shatter. One late afternoon, as the golden sun dipped toward the horizon, Day noticed a shadow lingering near the edge of their property. At first, he thought it was a passerby or perhaps a neighbor walking their dog. But something about the figure's stance made his heart tighten. It was Thomat. Thomat had been gone for years, leaving behind a trail of fear and chaos. His sudden reappearance was more than shocking. It was alarming. Day quickly ushered Maya inside, his protective instincts flaring. Huyen, sensing the tension, moved closer to her husband, her hand gripping his arm. Thomat's eyes scanned the house and the yard, calculating, cold, and menacing. He was no longer the reckless troublemaker they remembered. He seemed more deliberate, more dangerous. That evening, the family tried to continue their routine, but an uneasy silence hung over the house. Maya noticed her parents' unusual seriousness and clung to Huyen's side. Day paced the garden, keeping a watchful eye on the perimeter, while Huyen prepared dinner with trembling hands. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of the fence sent their hearts racing. Thomat had not made a move yet, but his presence was threatening enough to unsettle them. Over the next few days, Thomat's intentions became clearer. He tampered with the garden, broke a few of the fence posts, and left subtle but disturbing signs that he was watching them constantly. Day discovered footprints near the chicken pen, and small items in the house were slightly out of place, as if someone had been rifling through them. The family's peaceful sanctuary was being infiltrated. The tension mounted with every passing hour. Huyen tried to keep calm, soothing Maya and reassuring her that everything would be okay, but behind closed doors, she confided in Day her fears, whispering about the worst-case scenarios. Day remained outwardly calm, determined not to let Thomat sense any fear. He began documenting everything: footprints, broken fences, suspicious noises, every bit of evidence that could be used if things escalated. One night, as the moon cast a silver glow over the yard, Thomat tried to approach the house. Day was ready. He quietly opened a window, signaling Huyen to keep Maya calm. The moment was tense, stretched thin like a taut wire. Thomat's shadow fell across the garden, slow and deliberate, but Day's vigilance ensured that the intruder would not succeed. It was a standoff of silent wills, one determined to protect his family, the other intent on causing harm. By the end of the week, it was clear to Day and Huyen that Thomat's threat could not be ignored. The calm days were gone, replaced by vigilance, strategy, and the constant awareness that danger lurked closer than ever. They understood that their home, once a haven of peace, had become a battleground. And yet, despite the fear, their resolve to protect Maya and each other only grew stronger. The family prepared for what they knew would come next, determined that Thomat would not break the life they had worked so hard to build. The tension that had gripped Huyen, Day, and little Maya for days reached its peak one evening. Thomat, growing bolder and more reckless, tried once again to approach the house. But this time, Day was prepared. He had spent hours gathering evidence of Thomat's sabotage, photographs of the broken fence posts, footprints around the garden, and even video recordings of the intruder lurking near the property. Everything was carefully documented, a clear record of the danger Thomat posed to their family. Day calmly called the local police, his voice steady despite the rapid beating of his heart. He explained the situation in detail, giving officers the evidence he had collected. The police assured him they would respond immediately. Huyen, holding Maya close, felt a flicker of hope. For the first time since Thomat's return, she believed that their nightmare could end. That night, as the family waited in tense silence, the sound of approaching sirens echoed through the quiet countryside. Thomat, unaware that his every move had been tracked and reported, continued to prowl near the garden. The first police car arrived, its lights flashing and engine rumbling like a warning thunderclap. Officers quickly surrounded the property, moving with precision and authority. Thomat realized too late that he had been caught. He attempted to flee, but the police were faster. Within minutes, he was restrained, handcuffed, and taken into custody. The sight of him being led away brought an overwhelming sense of relief to Huyen and Day. Maya, too young to understand the full danger, sensed the shift in atmosphere and clapped her hands with innocent joy, laughing as she ran into her parents' embrace. After Thomat's arrest, the family slowly began to return to their normal routine. Huyen prepared meals with renewed calm, and Day tended the garden with a sense of triumph and relief. Even Maya's laughter seemed brighter, freer, as the shadow that had hung over their home was lifted. They spent the next few days repairing the fence and cleaning up the remnants of Thomat's interference, each action a small reaffirmation that their home belonged to them again. More importantly, the experience strengthened their bond. Huyen and Day realized that while life could be threatened by unexpected dangers, their love, trust, and unity could overcome even the darkest challenges. They hugged Maya tightly each night, grateful for the safety of their little family. And though the memory of Thomat's intrusion would remain, it no longer held power over them. Finally, the house and garden, once tense with fear, filled again with warmth, laughter, and peace. Huyen, Day, and Maya knew that their happiness was something worth protecting, and they cherished every simple moment together. A shared meal, a game in the yard, the quiet glow of the sunset on the porch. Life had returned to its rhythm, serene and beautiful, a reminder that love, vigilance, and faith could restore peace even after the stormiest trials. In the end, the family learned that danger could come unexpectedly, but with courage and careful action, justice could prevail, and the calm, loving life they had built together could continue stronger than ever before.
Hello everyone, wish you have a wonderful early day. Xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Live Single RV. Vậy là câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay đã có những tình tiết rất là mới lạ đúng không ạ? Đó chính là việc Thomas lại tiếp tục xuất hiện và Thomas đang lên kế hoạch âm thầm làm hại Huyền và Đệ cũng giống như bé Maya. Nhưng mà thật là may mắn, đó chính là Đệ đã phát hiện ra được âm mưu và kế hoạch của Thomas và ngăn cản kịp thời. Do đó kế hoạch của Thomas đã bị phá sản hoàn toàn và Đệ và Huyền và bé May A vẫn được an toàn bên nhau. Liệu rằng Thomas có từ bỏ âm mưu của mình hay không, và âm mưu thực sự của Thomas khi tiếp cận Huyền, Đệ và May A là gì? Tất cả sẽ được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn nếu thấy video hôm nay hay, hấp dẫn thì hãy bấm nút like, share và để lại bình luận góp ý ở dưới video nhé. Mọi đóng góp của các bạn sẽ giúp cho mình cải thiện các nội dung mới hay hơn nữa để phục vụ các khán giả. Cảm ơn các khán giả rất nhiều đã luôn theo dõi và ủng hộ kênh của mình. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các khán giả vào ngày mai trên kênh Live Single RV vào lúc 16 giờ giờ Việt Nam nha. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại. Bye bye and see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.